And we're back. It's been a while, but we're back. We got a lot to cover. Lots going on. A lot of catching up. So let's get to it we're starting with the big stuff. Going into all the leftovers in the last however long it was. First up in the big news. Chris calling VGC. I think almost everything's gonna be VGC today. We got a Subnautica 2 versus Krafton update. If you guys remember, Subnautica 2 developers had a deal with the Krafton people. They were like, hey, if you make this much money for the alpha or whatever, we give you millions of dollars of bonus. And then when it was coming close to that, the heads of the Krafton were like, yeah, we're not doing that. And they fired everybody. So here's an update. Court tells Subnautica 2 publisher Krafton to reinstate fired CEO and let him handle its early access release. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. CEO Ted Gill, co-founder and creative director Charlie Cleveland, and co-founder and technical director Max McGuire were fired by Krafton last year, with the publisher accusing the trio of absence of core leadership and claiming it felt a profound sense of betrayal by their failure to honor the trust placed in by our fans. Three claimed, however, that Krafton had betrayed them by firing them right before delaying Subnautica 2, a move they alleged was designed to deliberately prevent its early access release and avoid its selling well enough to trigger a $250 million bonus. It's a lot of money. The judge found that Krafton had breached the EPA by terminating the key employees without valid cause and improperly seizing operational control of Unknown Worlds, which is the developer studio. As a result, the board decision on July 1st, at which Krafton fired the founders, took over control of Unknown Worlds, and delayed Subnautica 2, has been declared ineffective to the extent it infringes on Gill's operational control right. Krafton must immediately restore Gill's access to the Steam platform and is not allowed to impede Gill's authority over the early access launch of Subnautica 2. As for the $250 million sale bonus for the development team, the judge extended the eligibility period to September 15th and noted the co-founders have a contractual right to further extend this to March 15th, 2027. That's a long time. That's a long time, chat. That's over a year, basically, from when they started this. So that's cool. Hopefully they get paid the money. Hopefully they get paid the money. So this is we're going in the right direction with this one. I like it a lot. Let's go. And another little bit of an update. Chris calling VGC again. Just a little follow-up. Reinstated Subnautica 2 Studio CEO says publisher Krafton self-servingly chose its release date without permission. Huh. The following day, IGN reported that Steve Papoutis, who had been put in charge of Unknown Worlds by Krafton after it fired the previous leads, had sent a memo to staff telling them Subnautica 2 was a game we are truly proud of, and one that each of us and our partners at Krafton unanimously determined is ready for early access release in May. How convenient. This has not sat well with the original trio, which is why GameFile reports that their lawyers are now accusing Krafton of ignoring the court's demand that Gill now be in charge of the game's launch plans. So they're saying, hey, it's ready to launch very soon. But the original guys that have been reinstated said, no, they're fibbing. We're supposed to be in control of that. So it's still going, but again, we're still moving in the right direction, which is nice. Let's do the gambit of layoffs. Let's start the gambit of layoffs. First, Crystal Dynamics. Chris calling VGC. Crystal Dynamics has announced its 4th round of layoffs in a year. Whoa. A statement posted on the company's LinkedIn page announced that it was laying off 20 staff across development and central operations, reducing its workforce by 20 talented team members split between some development personnel and some central operations roles. Typical today, yada, 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 all the same bullshit. The statement also stresses that the layoffs won't affect the upcoming remake Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, and sequel Tomb Raider Catalyst. We know that news like this can cause concern among our community. Crystal Dynamics remains fully committed to the future development of our already announced Tomb Raider titles. Today, however, our priority is supporting our colleagues who are moving on. Oof. So they confirmed in a previous round in March, and then August of last year and November of last year. March, August, November of last year. Ugh. Speaking of layoffs, like I said, the gambit of layoffs. Red Storm is laying people off as well. Andy Robinson, VGC. Ubisoft ends game development at Tom Clancy's studio Red Storm, resulting in 105 job losses. The North Carolina-based studio will continue operating in the form of global IT and Snowdrop support, but all game developers have been made redundant, announced on Thursday. Founded in 1996. Developed the first games based on the author's books, including the shooter, Rainbow Six, and Ghost Recon. I played the very first Rainbow Six game on PC. It's like my first ever PC game. Acquired by Ubisoft in 2000. Numerous Ghost Recons, Rainbow Sixes, Advanced Warfighter, Division Heartland, which got canceled a couple years ago. So that's rough. It's part of Ubisoft's major reset that they're doing. And then there's also Epic Games, the company that seemingly was just printing money with Fortnite. 1,000 employees. I'm sorry we're here again. Epic Games is laying off over 1,000 employees due to Fortnite's downturn. Huh. In a note sent to staff on Tuesday, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney partially blamed a downturn in Fortnite engagement on the decision. The game's rocket racing, ballistic, and festival battle stage modes will soon be shut down. Wow. They also announced that. Despite remaining one of the most successful games in the world, Fortnite has seen inconsistent engagement between seasons, Sweeney said, and is at the early stages of returning to mobile following years of legal battles. Today we are laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making, and we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. I wonder who told them to keep spending more? Who said that? Who said that was good? This layoff, together with over $500 million of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. Severance packages that includes at least 4 months of base pay, with more based on tenure. CEO claimed that while the current state of the games industry as a whole was partly responsible for the decision, he said the company's role as the industry's vanguard, it's taking a lot of bullets, Sure. And they just started, didn't they just start releasing some bullshit brain rot? We got it there. Some bullshit brain rot skins. So it's only going to get worse. I feel like no one's telling them this, that it's only going to get worse because of their decisions. Because of them. Why would they do that? Fortnite has been uninstalled and will not be reinstalled at this point. Get that AI brain rot shit out of here. Next up, PlayStation is closing another studio. Andy Robinson, VGC, PlayStation is closing another game studio. As per Reset Era, Dark Outlaw was in early stages of developing a project, but will now be shut down. The studio founded by former Call of Duty Zombies lead Jason Blundell. The second time Sony Interactive Entertainment has parted ways with Blundell after his previous studio Deviation Games canceled a PlayStation project and closed in 2024. Wow, that's gotta suck. Former Treyarch Code Studio head Blundell was one of the lead creators of Call of Duty Zombies before leaving Activision in 2020 after 13 years. Around 50 people are being laid off as part of Sony's latest cuts, including PlayStation's mobile development arm, according to Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. The second studio SIE has closed in as many months, following news that it was shutting down Bluepoint. PlayStation Studios boss Herman Hulse said that the decision to close Bluepoint was made due to an increasingly challenging industry environment. Who's making it challenging, I wonder? Eidos Montreal. Eidos Montreal announces mass layoffs for the third year in a row as studio head leaves. In a statement posted on the Guardians of the Galaxy Studios official LinkedIn page, which is, the game, Eidos Montreal announced that it would be laying off 124 employees across its production and support teams as a result of changing project needs. Reflects the need to adapt and concentrate efforts where Eidos Montreal can be most effective. We're deeply grateful to the team members impacted. This decision is not a reflection of their talent, dedication, or performance. Supporting those impacted with care and respect remains our priority while ensuring continuity for the teams moving forward. Noting that Fossey is also leaving his roles as studio head. We thank David for his contributions and wish him the best in future endeavors. Similar decision made on the same day last year on its LinkedIn page. 75 staff members on that one. They canceled the Deus Ex remake or remaster, whatever, too. Well, that's unfortunate. And then I think this is the last one, maybe? Unless there's a hidden one somewhere. There might be a hidden one somewhere. Ivy Road is also shutting down. This is Christopher Livingston, PC Gamer. Developer of cozy tea shop adventure Wanderstop, that's what it is, Wanderstop, is shutting down. It's a particularly tough time for raising game funds. Wasn't able to secure funding for its next game, Engine Angel. There's so many things here. A calling announcement bittersweet. The developer said that its doors will be closing as of March 31st. It's hard to put into words how thankful we are to have been able to work together on Wanderstop. It's an incredible group of people. 84%. Here's our 84% review. Interesting. Person-only game representing collaboration between the creative voices of several celebrated creators. Written by Davey Rendon of the Stanley Parable and Carla Zimanja of Tacoma. Music composed by C418 of Minecraft. Well, several members got laid off in late January. A bit of Engine Angel, which is created in this Blue Sky thread. This part I didn't look at. What is this? That's loud, sorry. You're fighting bugs with a car. Cool. Cool concept. Fight bugs with car. Next up, let's go into some of this dumb NVIDIA AI DLSS 5 shit. Andy Robinson, VGC. This is just a garbage AI filter. NVIDIA met with criticisms for DLSS 5's photoreal graphics alterations. This shit sucks. Whereas previous iterations of DLSS used AI technology to upscale games resolution or improve frame rates, DLSS 5 uses an AI model to alter the visuals of supported games with what NVIDIA calls photoreal lighting and materials. Yeah, okay. DLSS 5 takes a game's color and motion vectors for each frame as input and uses an AI model to infuse the scene with photoreal lighting and materials that are anchored to source 3D content and consistent from frame to frame, the company said in an announcement Monday. This isn't just like lighting though. Like, look at this. It's a completely different model. This isn't just lighting. There's just no way. And the movement is off too. Like, if you watch this video, I mean, if you do watch the video, please thumbs down it. Because I think it has like a 12% like percentage or something right now. But it's like, it just looks bad. It just looks bad. NVIDIA CEO responds, which of course they did, deflected widespread criticisms of DLSS 5, claiming that detractors of the AI technology are completely wrong. The reason for that is because, as I have explained very carefully, DLSS 5 fuses controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI. The thing is, nobody wants this. No, we do not want this. Bridging the divide between rendering and reality, DLSS 5 empowers game developers to deliver a new level of photoreal computer graphics previously only achieved in Hollywood visual effects. No. They're producing the regular stuff, and then this is just an AI filter going over it. That's what's happening. According to NVIDIA, developers will be able to tune intensity, color, and masking to determine where and how enhancements are applied to maintain the game's unique aesthetic. Still been met with significant criticism on social media from games industry professionals, partly due to how it drastically alters the original art direction of its supported games. This person says, "Weird that this impressive lighting tech also randomly turns everyone into yassified. Looks max freaks. It's like this technology can't help itself but sexualize everything it touches, but like through the lens of teenage boys." Those rules. This stuff, it just looks bad. It just looks bad. It doesn't look good. See, it looks like it's not part of the game. It's literally just an AI re-rendering. It's an AI re-rendering, basically. Look what they did to my boy. My poor boy, Leon. It looks so not good. It really does not look good. I don't understand why they think it does. And we got a couple follow-ups on this. Chris Gulling, VGC. Because they did some Starfield stuff, obviously. Bethesda tries to quell DLSS 5 criticism. Following the use of Starfield as one of the examples of DLSS 5 in action, Bethesda has sought to reassure players that its developers will have full control over the tool, and that players don't have to use it if they don't want to. Replying to a Digital Foundry tweet linking to a video in which the publication gave its hands-on impressions on DLSS 5, the official Bethesda Game Studio account noted that the demo it played wasn't the finished article. Huh. Interesting. How convenient. Appreciate your excitement and analysis of the new DLSS 5 lighting here. This is a very early look, and our art teams will be further adjusting the lighting and final effect to look the way we think works best for each game. It's interesting that they would make an announcement without being fully confident in it, you know? It's very early, but we're going to announce it anyway with the very early shitty stuff. This will all be under our artist control and totally optional for the players. Developers will be able to tune intensity. See, this is the same shit. But the thing is, like, if it's going to be optional for players for this stuff, then what's the point? How will you know if people are using it or not, you know? How will you know if people are actually using it if you make it a setting that you can toggle? Huh. And we got one more. It's an expanded response from NVIDIA CEO Andy Roberts of VGC. This fucking guy. This fucking guy. First of all, they're all completely wrong. Blah 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 blah. Developers can fine tune. It's not post processing. It's not post processing the frame level. It's generative control at the geometry level. All of that is in the direct control of the game developer. It's very different than generative AI. It's content controlled generative AI. That's why we're calling it neural rendering. He's just saying words. NVIDIA moved to address criticism of players in the comment section of its YouTube announcement video on Monday, writing, important to note, with this technology advance, game developers have full detailed artistic control over DLSS 5's effects to ensure they maintain their game's unique aesthetic. Woof. I don't think this is going to go well. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's going to go well. What do I know? Next up, let's quickly go through the Xbox partner preview. Just a couple Xbox announcements, you know. It wasn't the best showcase, but they showed stuff. They showed stuff. Everything announced. Andy Robinson VGC. Hunter the Reckoning Death Wish. From the people that made RoboCop. We're just gonna go skim through these. A lot of these are teasers. What is it? Who knows? Wuthering Waves. Free-to-play action RPG. Looks like a gacha game. The Expanse game looks pretty cool. I'm excited for this one. It looks very similar to Mass Effect, and Expanse is a great IP. So I'm excited for this. Grave Seasons. Just like a little Stardew clone. Serious Sam Shatterverse. You know they're making the new Serious Sam stuff. Sure, looks fun. Maybe if it's on Game Pass, we'll play it. Stranger Than Heaven from Sega. What is this? Oh yeah, it's this one. You're fighting. Super Meat Boy 3D. Release date announcement. It's coming next week. Cool. Annapurna's Forever Ago was re-announced. You're exploring. You're out in the wilderness. You're doing stuff. There's a dog. Ascend to Zero. It's a hack and slash. Similar. Is it a roguelike? Yeah. Like Hades. More cyberpunky 8-bit. I don't know. Dispatch is coming to Xbox. Alien Deathstorm. What is this? They didn't really show much. Oh, here we go. You're doing pew-pews. Not alien as an alien, but just like generic aliens. Frog Squad on Game Pass. That looks pretty silly. This looks pretty silly. Co-op extraction puzzle platformer. Bluey game, Stalker 2. Musa Dirty Fate. Inspired by Korean history. Okay. Eternal Life of Goldman. He's just digging for gold. Cool visuals in there. Vaunted. Got some cards. Don't know. Tactical RPG. Hades 2 coming to Game Pass. Artificial Detective. This AI. The robot guy. He's looking for stuff. Sure. So that was the partner showcase. I think they're doing a bunch more announcements at the next Xbox thing. I forgot what it's called. FanFest, maybe? All right, that's it for the bigger news. Move on to smaller news now, chat. First up, apparently there was a pitch for a Bloodborne remake that was like the worst kept secret, that it got shot down from FromSoft directly. According to a new report from Bloomberg, which claims that Bluepoint pitched a Bloodborne remake early last year. Bluepoint, they're dead. But the original developer From Software blocked the proposal. Although PlayStation owns the Bloodborne IP, former exec Shuhei Yoshida has previously shared a theory about why a remaster or modern platform ports haven't materialized. In a kind of funny interview, he thought From Software president Hidetaka Miyazaki was interested in remaking the game himself in the future and doesn't want anyone else to touch it. Sony would likely respect Miyazaki's wishes. Bloodborne has always been the most asked for thing, and people wonder why we haven't really done anything. Not even an update or remake or a remaster, which should be easy. We're known for doing so many remasters, some people get frustrated. I only have my personal theory for the situation. I left first-party development, so I don't know what's going on, but my theory is because I remember Miyazaki really loved Bloodborne and what he created. I think he's interested in bringing it back, but he is so successful and so busy that he can't do it himself, and he doesn't want anyone else to touch it. So, with Bluepoint closing, hey, thanks. The theory is that he wasn't very happy with what Bluepoint did with Demon Souls, because I think it wasn't fully, he wasn't fully aware that it was happening even, and then wasn't very excited about the final product, which is fair, because they just did. So he was like, I don't think I want them to do that again. So he's holding strong and saying no one else will be doing Bloodborne, so we might not ever see a Bloodborne remake. Sad. But that's just how it goes sometimes. Next up, Resident Evil 9 real good. Resident Evil Requiem currently has the highest user score of all time on Metacritic. I think that changed eventually. 3 days after its release, Resident Evil Requiem has become the highest rated game of all time on Metacritic. Wow. The 9th main entry in Capcom Survival Horror series currently has an overall Metascore average score from critics' reviews of 88, with the per platform score fluctuating between 88 and 92. However, its user score, the average score out of 10 submitted by Metacritic users, currently stands at 9.5, making it the highest user score on the entire platform. Hell yeah. Only one other game, Clair Obscur E33, has also scored a 9.5, but Metacritic's own calculations put Resident Evil Requiem above it, implying the unrounded average puts Capcom's games slightly higher. So Resident Evil being like a 9.53 or maybe a 9.6. So hell yeah. It's a good game. Chat, it's a good game. We know. But here's the thing. Pokopia also real good. It's the highest rated Pokemon game ever on Metacritic. Wow. Chris calling VGC. A cross between Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Minecraft, Peanut, and Dragon Quest Builders, set to release in March. Critical reception to the game has been almost entirely positive. As a result, it currently stands on a score of 88 on Metacritic. This not only puts it level with Resident Evil Requiem and Mugenics as the joint highest rated game of 2026 so far, also makes it the highest rated Pokemon game of all time on the review aggregator site. The only other Pokemon game with a Metacritic score of 88 is Pokemon Y. Interesting. But since its companion game Pokemon X scored 87, the joint average makes them slightly lower. X and Y are the second highest Pokemon games? Hold on, let me look at this list. Pokopia 88, X and Y 87.5, Black and White 87, Heart Gold 87. Okay. Sun and Moon 87? There's no way PLA scores lower than Diamond and Pearl. Sure. Sure. Okay, well, hey, Pokopia #1. It's interesting that X and Y are higher than black and white. I feel like I remember black and white more than X and Y. And that they're both above Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Suspicious, but it's fine. You know, it's whatever. It's just it's within like 2 points of each other. Who cares? Next up, Xbox did officially confirm a new console recently, and it's gonna be all of the money. Xbox confirms its next console will run PC games and is codenamed Project Helix and your option VGC. Gaming division shared a short teaser video on social media revealing Project Helix logo. There's also another Xbox story that I skipped that I'm going to add on here. Copy that real fast. Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. Looking forward to chatting about this more with partners and studios at my first GDC next week. So this is the little teaser. It's just a logo. Cool. On top of all the other Xbox announcements, they also announced something pretty significant. They've ended the they've officially ended the This Is an Xbox campaign. Insane. New gaming CEO killed This Is an Xbox campaign because it didn't feel like Xbox. I get it. Listen, I get it. But also, they've already committed so much into this. They've already committed so much. I don't know what's going on over there. It could be what the people are saying, where it's like they're just winding down, just the sunsetting Xbox. If only they had more control. Other people have said it, but Microsoft is Xbox's biggest problem, I think. Unfortunately. There's just so much. Anyway, new console, Xbox, cool. There's also, just a side note, it's probably going to be like $1,200, just like the new PlayStation. So some people are saying maybe this next GTA doesn't sell as much as people think, because the game being $100, the consoles being $1,200, how many people are gonna afford $1,300 to play these games? Probably not as many as the previous gens. So it might not sell as much. Who knows? Next up, Pragmata releasing early? Question mark? And your Robinson VGC. The game that delayed themselves with a little sticky note, basically, changed their date to be sooner. Originally scheduled for release April 24th, Pragmata will now arrive on PS5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC a week earlier, April 17th. Nice, that's like 2 weeks from now. No reason we're skipping for the change, but it means the game will now arrive nearly 2 weeks ahead of PlayStation's own big entry, Saros, which is scheduled for April 30th. Oh, interesting. I might just be avoiding that, because that game also looks really good. So that's cool. It's coming soon. Sorry, coming April, cross out, 17th, 2026. Smiley face. Then there's a chicken. And there's a little apple. Got some stars, got some happy faces. All nice stuff. Some grapes. All right, next up, we got some Marathon news. So when they had their whole copyright whatever scandal, they've now credited the original artist that was plagiarized or whatever. Artist whose work was used in Marathon without permission has been credited as visual design consultant, Chris Colleen VGC. Scottish artist Fern 4NT1R34L, I'm sure that says something. Hook accused Bungie of taking assets from previous work and using it in alpha for Marathon, and it was proven, but now they are officially in here, right here. Visual design consultant. So hey, I hope we also got some money, but at least they've been officially credited. That's pretty cool. Another Marathon thing. Marathon dev Bungie responds to microtransactions complaints and is preparing a patch for next week. This is Vicky Blake, Eurogamer. Marathon developer Bungie is committed to revising its approach to in-game currency, claiming it will boost the amount of Lux you get for $8 or £8, which is $10 of real money, from 1100 to 1120. Cool. As IGN points out, up until now, players would have to pay for a $10 and a $5 Lux box to unlock 120. Oh, the skin is 1120. Unlock an 1120 Lux runner skin, as the £8 1100 bundle didn't provide quite enough. So that is pretty shitty. So you have to buy $15 worth to spend like $11 worth. So they're gonna revamp it, making adjustments to the amount of looks you get for the $10 bundle, give you 1120, up from 1100. So that's cool. At least they're adjusting it. Micro adjustments. We got an update on the Steam machine. Let me get rid of some of these tabs. So this is Vicky Blake again. Eurogamer. Valve still hopes to ship the Steam machine, Steam frame, and Steam controller this year, but it's still not willing to specify when. Affirmed its belief that it will be shipping all 3 of its new hardware products this year, but is now refraining from providing a release window. So they've announced it, and it's been months, and they still haven't said anything about prices or dates. But they're saying, hey, it's coming out this year for sure. For sure. That remains to be seen. I wonder when they're going to first officially show it. I wonder what event this will be at. Next up, it's a new Jay and Silent Bob game. Huh? For those of you who even know who that is, it's like this game's been in development or in the works for like 2 decades. Chris calling VGC. A decade after it was announced, the Jay and Silent Bob beat 'em up is finally coming next month. Whoa. Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch first launched as a crowdfunding campaign and now defunct site Fig back in February 2016 and earned developer Interbag Entertainment its initial $400,000 goal. Since that time, however, details in the game have been thin on the ground, with some fans of Kevin Smith's movie characters worried that it had quietly been canceled. Instead, in 2019, the same studio released Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl, an 8-bit retro beat 'em up, which was released on PC consoles and NES cartridge. Now, after nearly a decade without updates beyond sporadic confirmations that it was still in development, Jay and Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch finally has a release date. So this is a different game. Released on April, will be released on April 20th to all the platforms. 420. So this is different from the Mall Brawl one. This one's different. All right, this one's different. They're punching, they're fighting. It looks pretty silly. It's a fucking shit demon. Okay. So that's pretty fun. I back that is so funny. Next up, FBC is getting its last update, but the servers will remain open. I still kind of want to play this game. I still haven't been able to. FBC Firebreak just got its last ever major update along with a price drop and free Friends Pass. Chris Scully VGC. The new update titled Open House adds new arenas inspired by locations from Control for the Endless Shift game mode. Also adds gameplay improvements, balance updates, and Twitch drops armor sets. However, Remedy is now officially announced that Open House is the last major update for the game, informing players we won't be adding new playable content after this update. Despite this, it assures players that the game will stay online and continue to be playable for years to come. We have done engineering work to ensure we can sustain the upkeep of the relay servers when the player volume is lower. This game has been almost flatlining on PC, with SteamDB reporting that for the past 6 weeks before the release of Open House update, the game had barely managed to make above 20 concurrent players. Oh. Also introduced the Friends Pass, which lets players invite their friends to play the game with them for free. Again, I do want to try this out. Decreased the price of the game to $20, was $30. So that's good. Hey, these are some good things. I like all this. It sucks that the game is basically dead, but at least it's staying open. They're dropping the price, and they released a pretty good content update. I like that. More people should do that. All right, so now we'll get into the Ashes of Creation stuff. It's just a quick kind of update on it. So the CEO that everyone says has been the fraud dude is finally breaking his silence. The director, whatever this is, Vicky Blake, Eurogamer, ousted Ashes of Creation director, wins restraining order against his own board. I categorically deny I mismanaged funds or caused the company shutdown. Oh, he won? Huh? The director and creator of Ashes of Creation, the MMORPG brought to life via the $3.2 million donated by almost 20,000 backers in 2017, has broken his silence and successfully sued for a restraining order against the board of his own company, Intrepid Studios. Wow, what a turn of events. Put in protest against the decisions his board was making last month, after which the board proceeded with a mass layoff. Most of the game's leadership has since either left or been let go. Sheriff now revealed in a lengthy statement, last month I filed a lawsuit in federal court in San Diego on behalf of Intrepid Studios. I brought claims for breaches of fiduciary duty, violations of federal and state trade secret laws, wrongful efforts to seize company assets, including its valuable IP, through an unlawful and manufactured insider foreclosure. And then he won his restraining order. Alleges that from 2024, the board of Intrepid had tried to shut down the firm and transfer Ashes of Creation to TFE Games, cutting out Intrepid's long-term shareholders, lenders, employees, and community. San Diego court has issued a temporary restraining order in Sheriff's favor against Dawson, and Dawson and anyone working for him are prohibited from accessing, using, selling, distributing, or causing anyone to access, use, sell, or distribute the trade secrets of Intrepid. But the damage has already been severe. The company has spent more than a decade building a game, and a community was abruptly shut down. Employees were terminated without pay or benefits, and years of work were thrown into uncertainty. Impact on the people who dedicate their careers to this project. So this has taken such a different turn. Because for weeks it was all this guy's fraud. For weeks it was this guy's fraud, and now he's like, I'm not fraud. You guys are fraud. So this might drag out for a while, gamers. Be ready. Next up, Crimson Desert. The game that was too good to be true and turned out to be too good to be true had AI art inside of it. What a surprise. Andy Robinson, VGC. Crimson Desert developer apologizes for accidental inclusion of AI art. Accidental meaning you caught us. You caught us. You saw it. Promises comprehensive audit. Since the game's release on Friday, players reported finding what they believe to be generative AI art in the form of multiple in-game paintings. It's interesting. It's accidental, but it's like, it's consistent, right? How much of an accident can it be if it's consistent? Interesting. Perlibus has since confirmed the suspicions, claiming the art was unintentionally included and was originally intended to be replaced during development. Some 2D visual props were created as part of early stage iterations using experimental AI generative tools. These assets helped us rapidly explore tone and atmosphere on the earlier phases of production. However, our intention has always been for any such assets to be replaced following final work and review by our art and development teams with work that aligned with our quality standards and creative direction. So here's some of the art, some of the lovely art that players have found. So yeah, what's even going on here? The legs don't match up. What are these faces? You got this. What's going on here? What is this? What is this? What is happening here? And then you got this one. Clearly, face is messed up. There's like half a person in the background. The perspective's all off. And then this one here as well. What are they doing? Those don't line up. Those don't line up correctly. And then there's this other AI stuff here. What's going on in the background? Mush. It's just mush. We acknowledge that we should have clearly disclosed our use of AI. While these tools were primarily used during early production with the expectation that these assets would be replaced prior to release, we recognize this does not excuse the lack of transparency. We sincerely apologize for these oversights. Whatever. Games have been successfully made for decades without needing to use an AI placeholder in the game. They've never needed it before. All of a sudden, we got to use it for why? What's the point? There's no point. There's just no point. It's just a waste. Next, a little follow-up here. It's not really a follow-up, but it's just more on the AI stuff. With Crimson Desert specifically. Ex-Blizzard president says gamers need to man up over AI usage in games after Crimson Desert devs issue apology. This is Rory Norris, PC Gamer. AI is increasingly creeping its way, yada yada yada. PC Gamer loves to just not give the story. Just tell me the story. Former Blizzard president Mike Ybarra to dredge it all back up. Why apologize? AI in one form or another will be in every single video game. I don't get why devs feel the need to bend over for the few folks who can't accept the reality that AI will be in every single thing, from video games to your fridge. It already is. Shut up. Ybarra closes by saying gamers need to man up. So just something so unsurprising from this guy. It's just so completely not surprised by the words coming out of this person's face. Gross. All right, that's it for the small news. Let's do some chat picks. Let's do a few chat picks here, gamers. Boop, 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 boop. First up is Miriant closing because of AI. This is Lewis Parker Kotaku. AI-fueled RAM crisis forces retro game preservation site to permanently close. Whoa. Miriant, a retro-focused video game preservation site with over 390 terabytes of organized collections, will be shutting down for good in roughly 30 days. Founded in October 2022 by a user simply known as Alexi, Miriant has remained an ad-free, paywall-free, and login-free since it first emerged 3 years ago, relying on small pool donations to keep the site online. So what has changed? You guessed it. The rising cost of RAM, SSD, and HDD. Cool. Miriant's operating costs increased to the point that Alexi is paying roughly $6,000 every month just to keep the servers online. That's crazy amount of money. Just for one little dude. That's not the only cause, however. Alexi announced on Miriant's official Discord server that while operating costs have risen, donations have remained at the same level. As traffic continued to increase last year, the amount of funding from donations remained the same. I've been paying more than $6,000 of out of pocket every month in order to cover the difference, which is not sustainable. Yeah. Several new specialized download managers, which presumably does not include the supported download managers outlined in the fact page, operate in a way that takes advantage of the site's anti-download limit policy. The past several months, many specialized download managers were created that completely bypass the site. Donation messages and download protections. Use of Miriant for commercial for-profit purposes has always been strictly forbidden. Such egregious and abusive usage of the site cannot be tolerated anymore, so he's just shutting it down. Well, let's get that bubble popped in, all right. Next up, little thing here. It's just a little story here. ND Dev says, best I can do is sentient tofu. Because fans say, hey, I want a male protagonist. And they said, we'll give you something. Look at this guy. The little tofu guy. Again, PC Gamer just loves, this is Joshua Wollen's PC Gamer. They just love to just not give me the story. Some people are bad at maths, like one fan of upcoming delivery sim, Honcho, who took to the game's Steam forums to make a humble request. Please let me play as the dude. They said, there's really only one thing I am hoping for. That's the ability to build a play as a male character if you want to. I'm not a fan of playing female characters, kind of ruins my immersion, which is understandable. Some people want to be the person in the game, right? They want to be like, that's me. The request was made last September, quickly fell into the ash bin of Steam forum history until the developer popped their head in 2 days to declare the problem solved. I've added the ability to play as Mr. Tofu, who is a sentient block of tofu which hides the player's body, and with an option to also hide hands. This is the best I could do is sentient tofu. That's pretty funny. It's just the tofu box over the character. That's the best they could do. And apparently the person was like, yeah, that's fine. The original player's response to Mr. Tofu, that would be good for some of us, at least for now. Regardless of what character we play, I support you wholeheartedly. Been a fan of your work for years, yada, yada, yada. So they're very excited about it. So cool. Hey, no male tofu, or no male character. You only get tofu. Next, there's this, what is this? What is this one? I forgot what this one was. Slay the Spire made a marathon joke or something? Yeah. Rich Stanton, PC Gamer. If it works, it works. If it fits, it ships. Slay the Spire 2 dev celebrates its instant success by reminding players to support small indie passion projects like Marathon. That's pretty good. Congratulations to the Marathon team on their launch, says a post on the game's official account, quoting Bungie's launch post before inserting tongue firmly in cheek. Don't let small indie passion projects like this pass you by just because Slay the Spire 2 is out. That's very funny. Get fucking got. Fucking get got. Next up, this is all chat picks, by the way. Rivals will be compensating players for their Throne ranked matches somehow. We're talking about that site, that like bounty site. This is Kane Saren, Games Radar. Marvel Rivals implements a victim compensation protocol for players affected by malicious match losing and people getting paid to throw. I don't know, how do they do that? How would they do that? To preserve match integrity, we're introducing the victim compensation protocol. If your match loss and point deduction were caused by a teammate's confirmed malicious behavior, the system will automatically restore lost points You'll receive an in-game mail notification with once competition has been issued. We encourage all players to continue reporting violations, stay vigilant, keep fighting for justice, and let's defend the integrity of our Chronoverse side by side. So yes, if you're playing Comp Marvel Rivals from now on, and you have someone on your team that is actively throwing, you can report them and get your lost points back. Maybe. Maybe. Next up, there is an Outer Wilds reference in WoW. World of Warcraft Midnight players found an empty campsite that references 2019's Planet Hopping Pulsar Outer Wilds. Tyler Culp, PC Gamer, says this is a little campsite. And wow, they don't put a video of it. Right here, look. This is what it looks like. It looks exactly the same. It looks exactly the same. Look, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Oh, that's a nice little nod. Next up, is there going to be less AI in Arc Raiders? Austin Manchester Polygon. Arc Raiders now has fewer AI voice lines as studio head admits a real-life professional actor is better than AI. Oh, what a surprise. What a surprise. When hold on. Forgot to undo my middle click. When Arc Raiders launched last fall, it received plenty of praise. It's also dragged somewhat for its use of Gen AI voices, like the finals. Studio head Patrick Soderlund disclosed that Arc Raiders has fewer AI voice lines now, while also describing AI as a production tool in development. We re-recorded some of the lines post-launch and made them with real voices. Certain lines for the in-match ping system were generated via an AI text-to-speech model based on voice actors hired for the game. Embark's rationale was that the system was more efficient than needing to bring back voice actors to the studio for each update to the live service extraction shooter. The difference between AI lines and recordings from real voice actors is night and day. There is a quality difference. A real professional actor is better than AI. That's just how it is. First and foremost, as a production tool, is that's their views on AI. Allows them to test different lines before deciding what to record. It's also a way for us to work, not replace actors. We don't necessarily believe in replacing humans with AI all the time. Okay. I'll give it to them. Also, just the idea that using AI voices was a way around paying fair wages for voice actors. We pay our actors for all the time spent with us in the booth and continue to bring many of them back as we carry on updating the game. For select usage, Embark also pays voice actors to license their voices for Embark's text-to-speech program. That part's a little suspicious, but hey, we're moving in the right direction here. We're moving in the right direction. All right, next up is Pokemon Go training robots. Probably. And other things as well. So this is Polar Science. This is Mac DeGuerin, I think. So when using the AR like scanning stuff, you're apparently training delivery robots with your 30 billion images. So it's a lot in here, but they use like triangulation and stuff like that. I don't use any of the AR stuff at all. Pogo, I turn that shit off because one, saves battery, and two, I don't fucking need it. I don't care. So if you're using the AR vision in Pokemon Go when you're scanning Pokestops and stuff like that, just know you're also helping robots. So keep that in mind. Next up, we got a little teaser for Void Hunters. I feel like we looked at a little bit of this again, or before. But Witcher meets Baldur's Gate 3 and gorgeous upcoming free RPG. Exactly, Kirk. Exactly. Upcoming third-party based RPG set within Dark Fantasy world. I think we saw a trailer of this recently, though. So this will be a fun time. And the last chat pick, Star Wars Zero Company. I think we got a little bit more information on that. More than just Star Wars XCOM, it feels like Mass Effect, but with turn-based tactics and permadeath. So it's not like Mass Effect. So it's not like Mass Effect. It's just Star Wars XCOM, which is fine. That's not really for me. Where do they show gameplay here? Yeah. I mean, it's Star Wars XCOM. I get it. Will I play it? Probably not, because that's just not the Star Wars game that I want. But it visually looks cool. Visually, it does look cool. We will see. We shall see. All right, chat. And yes, after all this time, yes, you're right. We do have a dev dub, and we will talk about it right now. The dev dub for this past couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, whatever it was, it's gonna go to Konami, Chris Scully VGC. Konami gets the dev dub. Konami increases its starting salary in Japan by nearly 30%. Increases base pay for the 5th year in a row. Hopefully we keep seeing Konami with this exact story every year. The company announced that its initial base salary for college graduates will be 310 yen per month, a 29% rise from 240 yen per month in February 2023. This will enable us to offer competitive compensation for new recruits and create an environment where talented employees can thrive with a sense of satisfaction in their work. Increasing its base salary for all employees the 5th year in a row by 5,000 yen per month. I think it's like 50 bucks, if I remember correctly. Oh, it's like 30 bucks. We're doing a little better now. It's like 30 bucks. Since our founding in 1969, Konami Group has engaged in creating new forms of fun by globally providing innovative products and services that capture the era's crest of the wave. So hell yeah. Get more developers getting paid more. All the workers getting paid more. Like this. That's the dev dub. That's a huge dev dub for Konami. Let's go. And with that, we're finally done. Over an hour-ish of news. That's so much. I will edit this as soon. I'll edit it. It'll happen eventually. But thank you all for hanging out for this week's gaming news. We'll be back next week with more news, probably Thursday again. Oh no. Yeah, probably Thursday again. Check out the links in the chat. YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok. And thank you all for hanging out live in the chat. Anyone that does the comments or touches the video on YouTube, thank you for doing that as well. You guys are the best. And it's gonna be it for this week of gaming news.